Hello, welcome to a new vlog. In this vlog, I'm going to be reading some, but also maybe doing some other activities. For the next 2 weeks, my husband is gone for work and I'm here by myself and I am needing to do some things to distract my mind and help me to get through these next 2 weeks. I hate any kind of change, and my husband being gone is a very big change for me because my days don't look the same at all. I feel like I have no routine. He's already been gone for 2 weeks, so he's gonna be gone a full month, but we have 2 weeks left. So we're halfway through, and like I said, I feel like my routine is completely gone, and yeah, it's just been kind of hard. So I wanted to start a vlog because one, it feels like I'm a little bit less alone when I'm talking to you all. And also I'm trying to figure out some things that I can do, like I said, to distract myself so my mind doesn't spiral, because it has happened a couple of times. So I just wanted to bring you all along with that as I'm figuring out some things to do and hopefully speeding up this next 2 weeks. I'm not going to tell you what books that I'm going to read right now because I honestly don't know. I'm going to sit down and try to figure that out. I feel like there are a lot of books that I'm thinking about, but I just need to sit down and figure out which one really hooks me. I do know I want a book that I'm gonna like really fall into and just not have to think about anything else. Like, I'm so into it. That might be kind of hard to find. I also feel like I want something light. I figured that out the other night because I tried to read a book that I'm really excited about. I am gonna read it in a couple weeks, probably when my husband gets home, but it was just kind of sad and it was just making my mind go to places I did not want them to go. I think I just need something light right now, maybe cozy or just immersive, like I said. Nothing too heavy or too real life. I don't know. I halfway thought about a fantasy, but I feel like that could be tricky because a lot of fantasies can be kind of heavy or dark. But I know that there's some that are just like super immersive and kind of take you out of this world and put you into another one. I might reread a book, I don't know, just to feel some comfort. One genre that I probably will not be reading is romance, because for some reason I've tried multiple times this summer and spring to read a romance book or like a contemporary romance book, and I cannot do it. I can't get into them. I feel just detached and I just quit them, which is really interesting because last summer that's all I wanted to read. Now I have no interest in them whatsoever. I might read a middle grade book because they're very cozy and comforting. We will just see. Who knows what I'm gonna read in this vlog? We will be finding out together. And then of course, like I said, I also want to do some kind of activities, probably at home, but also try to get out some because that can definitely help. We're also going to be figuring that out at the same time too, because I just don't know what I want to do. Today, after I finish this little clip, I'm gonna figure out what I want to read. I think I'm gonna try to go to a coffee shop and read. Usually, like I've done that maybe twice, and then I feel like I'll go sometimes, and especially if it's busy, then it's hard for me to be there because I'm just so concerned about everybody else and I can't focus on my book. And then I feel just like I'm standing out because I'm by myself. I know it's all probably in my head. I still want to try to do it because I feel like it could be really cozy, and again, like just a change of scenery and getting out. And then I have a doctor's appointment today. I am 6 months pregnant today, so that's very exciting. It's just a normal appointment to check on some things. Should not take that long. Other than that, I'm gonna be reading today, maybe doing something cozy, but I'm gonna take you all along these next couple of weeks and hopefully we'll find some things to do and some fun books to read. So I'm gonna go figure out what in the world I want to read right now. Home now, and there were a lot of people in the coffee shop, so I just got my stuff to go and I went to the park and just sat in the car and read because it's so hot and humid outside. Now I'm home and I'm gonna show you all what I decided to read. I have The Kiss of Deception. So this is actually on Kindle Unlimited, but I wanted so much to be able to hold it and read it. So I went to Barnes & Noble and they literally had one copy left. And I asked if they had another one because the pages aren't the best, or at least some of the pages are a little bit bent. And I'll kind of show you, like the top there is not the best. They didn't have any more. They did say that there were more coming in on another day, but I didn't want to wait. So she said she could give this to me for 50% off. So at least I got it 50% off. It's not so terrible, honestly, that I care too much. I kind of would rather have it for 50% off than to get it for full price. So that was nice, but I did start it. I am on page 42 and I'm really enjoying it, which I thought I was going to because I read a couple of pages on Kindle Unlimited and I immediately knew this is the book I wanted to read. I've seen really great reviews for it on Goodreads, so I feel like honestly this is the book that I needed to read because I mean I know I'm not that far into it, but I feel like it's just far enough removed from reality that I'm going to really be into it and just transport it into this world. And I think it's a 3-book series is what it looks like. If you don't know what it's about, it is about Leah, who is a princess, and I'm in that kind of mood to read like about princesses and I guess like that kind of fantasy world. So she's a princess and she's the first daughter, and in this world the first daughter, I don't know for sure, I think that the first daughter has to, this is terrible, but I can't remember, I don't know if they have to be married off to someone in another kingdom because they might have some kind of magical ability. It hasn't really explained what that ability is. At the beginning of the book we see that she is getting ready for her wedding and she's supposed to be marrying this prince from another kingdom, and she's definitely not happy about it. She's 17 years old and she has not met the prince, but she has seen his dad, and she said if he's even like half the age of the dad, then he's still gonna be so old. She's nervous about that and just doesn't want to be married to someone she doesn't love. Also, she doesn't have whatever magical talent, ability, whatever it is that first daughters usually have. I don't think anybody knows except for her mom. I think whatever talent or magical ability it is supposed to help the kingdom. At the very beginning, she's getting ready for her wedding and then decides to run away. We're following her as it has escaped. It's multiple points of view because we're following her. And then I've read another chapter where we're following the prince, who is actually not old. I think he is gonna be going after her. And then we're also following another guy who is an assassin who is hired to kill her. And I think he's also young, so I'm pretty sure it's gonna be like a love triangle thing. I'm really into it so far. It's already sucked me in and I'm only 40 pages in. I'm glad I finally found a book that I feel like is perfect for me right now. I don't think I'm really gonna do anything else today. It's already like late afternoon and I'm tired and I really think I just want to sit and read. I might watch something later, we'll see. But for now, my plans are to read a lot of this book. We'll see if I continue to really like this, and I will give you all an update soon.
Look ahead, the sea is calm, and I know we've been through a lot, but just wait. For better days to come and carry us like wind in our sails.
It's the next day now, and I don't think I'm gonna update every single day because I feel like over 2 weeks that's gonna be way too much. Last night I ended up reading a lot more of The Kiss of Deception, and now I'm on page 112, and I don't have a lot to say about it yet because I feel like we're still really getting into the start of the story to see the different characters meet. But it's been great so far. I'm still really into the story and I'm happy that I decided to get it and read it. Sometimes I like my ambiance while I'm reading to be Gilmore Girls because I just need like people talking in the background. So that's what I was doing while I was reading this. But then I also just watched an episode of Friends last night, so I really didn't do much. But then today I have had lunch with a friend, and then I feel like I went all over town looking for a chai tea, a decaf chai tea, because the regular one has just too much caffeine in it for me. So I was looking for the decaf. Multiple stores did not have it. I finally found it, thank goodness, because I wanted one so much. So now I have it, and I'm so happy about it because it is exactly what I needed. But my plan for the rest of the day, which it's already the afternoon, I need to finish editing the video that's probably gonna go up before this, and then I'm gonna read some more of The Kiss of Deception, and we'll see if I end up doing anything else today. I don't have a lot planned, like I said, but I will give an update on The Kiss of Deception again soon, and hopefully more has happened in it so I can give a little bit better of an update. It's been a couple days since I've talked to you all. Yesterday, I ended up going to my parents' house and stayed with them for a little while. And then I did end up reading some yesterday. Honestly, I kind of had like a sad day yesterday because I was just sad missing my husband. But today is a new day and it's gonna be a good day. So I do have a little update to give you all on The Kiss of Deception. I'm halfway through this now. I'm on page 231 and I'm still really into it. I feel like something is about to happen, like a big thing, because not much has happened. They're kind of all staying in the same town, I guess. We're just kind of seeing Leah interact with the people there, and the assassin that is after her, and the prince that has also went after her, which again, she doesn't know who they are. And I think I mentioned a little bit about there's gonna be like a love triangle, and now that we're halfway through, I feel like I have who I want her to be with, but I'm not gonna say who that is. But I'm really curious who she's gonna end up with. That's all I want to say about that. But I am really enjoying that part. Just there's not really much romance right now, but I feel like we're starting to get some of that. It's just really cute. But I'm still really loving the book, and I think I'm really gonna like the series. My plans for today, my mom is actually coming to stay with me for a couple of days, and we're probably just gonna go do a little bit of shopping, and I have a plan that we're gonna watch a movie tonight at home, but I want to go to the movie theater to get some movie theater popcorn. That will be fun. But that's the main thing that I'm gonna be doing today with my mom. It has been absolutely unbearable outside for basically the whole summer. It's so hot and humid, and I just don't want to even go from my apartment to my car because it's so hot. Today, right now, it is like not even 70 degrees. That makes me so happy. And I'm really happy too, because it feels so good outside right now. I'm going to take my book, sit outside and read, and that just sounds like a perfect time right now. So my plan is to do that right now, and yeah, you'll probably see a couple of things of what we're gonna do today, but I'll give you all an update at some point on this book whenever I've read some more of it. My mom is gone now. We had a great time this weekend. I ended up finishing my book, The Kiss of Deception, so I wanted to tell you all about it. I feel like I didn't update much on this. I can't remember exactly the last thing I said. Also, I don't think I ever said this, but I'm not a big fan of like all of the sprayed edges. I purposely was trying to find this book without sprayed edges, but they didn't have it, of course. Sometimes I like them okay on hardback books, but I don't usually like them on paperback at all. But anyways, I think the last thing I said is I was kind of waiting for something to happen because I felt like something big was going to happen, and of course it did eventually. Also, without giving away anything or any spoilers, something shocking to me happened in this book. I was very confused because I'm wondering if I confused myself and was thinking a certain way the whole time, and then my thinking changed. None of this is going to make sense if you've not read this, but if you've read this, I'm really curious. I don't even know how to ask this without spoiling it. Basically, something happens where I was literally going back to the beginning of the book, rereading things, trying to figure out, did I confuse myself on this and make this up in my head? But it was a good twist if it wasn't just me that was confused by it, or not confused, but if it wasn't just me that made it up in my head. So something did happen, something was revealed. I think the second, probably a little bit less than the second half of the book, we were following the result, I guess, of the big thing that happened. I really loved this book. I definitely have a character that I want her to be with. I got to the very last chapter of this book and I was like, this cannot be the last chapter because nothing is wrapping up. And yeah, nothing, I mean, I guess a little bit wrapped up, but not really. It just left off on a kind of like a cliffhanger where I'm like, now I don't know what's going to happen. I have to read the second one. But I gave it 4.5 stars because I was going back and forth between, is this a 5-star? Is this a 4-star? But there were a couple parts that were a little bit slower, but I was able to just, get through them. And then the other parts of it, I really did love. I feel like this was a really great fantasy book, and I'm really excited to read the rest of the series. I think it looks like it's 3 books and then maybe like a novella. I don't know when I'll read the second. Part of me was thinking, am I gonna get the second as soon as I finish this one? I'm not, but I do want to read it soon. Maybe since it is fantasy, that would be a good fall book to read. Even though it didn't really feel like fall. It was more like a summery book, I feel like, because some of the time they're in the desert. And I think a lot of the time, honestly, it was summer during this book. Really enjoyed this. 4.5 stars. And I'm excited to read the rest of the series. I also have her other series. Well, I have the first book, Dance of Thieves, which I've never read. So I'm really curious about that one because I have heard good things about it too. And I didn't connect at first that she wrote both books until, I was getting this book and I saw on the back. But yeah, so I finished that. I have been reading a little bit of a book I got from the library, which is Leva at Last. This is a middle grade book, and I think it's newer, or within the last couple of years it came out, but it follows Leva. I'm only 30 pages into it, so I haven't read much at all. But again, I thought it would be a good idea to read a middle grade book right now for something cozy. So this is kind of, I think, when I'm going to be reading on and off. Like, I'm not gonna just sit here and read this and no other books. We're following Leva, who is basically like Matilda, if you've read or watched Matilda, or at least it feels like that way so far, because her parents are terrible. They don't care anything about her. Her mom just wants fame, her dad just wants money, and they had her for that because they thought they would have fame and money if they had a child. But they don't let her go to school. She's not really allowed to leave the house. She kind of just, it feels like she works for them. The chapter I'm on, or I just read, she has discovered, I think it's right beside her house, she saw it, there is a library, which she doesn't know what a library is. She's never been to one. So she goes in and sees all these books, and that also reminds me of Matilda. So if you like Matilda, you might end up liking this. I'm thinking I'm gonna enjoy it. But my plan for today is I think I'm gonna go to the library because I want another like adult book to read, and I have a couple in my head that I'm thinking about. We'll see what I end up getting, because I think I'll end up getting to read probably one more book in this video, along with maybe the middle grade book I'm reading, because I have just about a week left until my husband gets home, and I'm so excited. And I feel like I can read another book in this week. So I'm gonna go to the library. I think I'm going to go to Target because they have these little, they're called, I think, mini-verse things, where basically you can just build these like mini anything. They have so many different things, but they have book ones, and I want to get one of the book ones. It doesn't tell you what the book is until you have it and you open it, and I guess you put the book together. So I thought that would be a fun thing to do. I'm gonna go get one of those. But that is the main thing I feel like I'm doing today, is going to the library, getting a book, making a mini book, and reading today. That's the main thing I feel like I'm gonna do today, and it's Monday. I don't think I said that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go to the library, and we'll see what I end up getting. I'm back from those few errands that I was gonna run, and I'm gonna tell you all about the books that I got. I planned on getting 1 to 2 books, and then I ended up getting 5. I feel like sometimes I'll go in there not really knowing what I want, and I'll look through the aisles and I can't find anything. And then this time I didn't even go through every aisle. I just happened to be finding things on accident. So I'm gonna show you all what I got. I'm gonna go ahead and say some of these I probably won't have a lot to say about because I don't know exactly what some of them are about. The first one I have is Our Last Vineyard Summer. And this one I know came out this year, very recently. And I'm pretty sure it's a historical fiction book, maybe with 2 timelines. Yeah. It's set in 1965 and 1978. It says it's about a graduate student who returns with her sisters to their family's summer home on Martha's Vineyard and begins to unravel old family secrets. So that just sounds really interesting to me, and I haven't read a historical fiction in a little while, and we still have a little bit of summer left, so I feel like I need to read this in the summer, and I've heard really great things about it, so we'll see if I start this. Okay, my next one I have is 44 Scotland Street by Alexander McCall Smith. He wrote the #1 Ladies Detective Agency, which is a mystery series that I've never read before, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. This one I've almost got, I feel like, a few times, but I've never picked it up. And it was just calling to me this time because I feel like it's gonna be really cozy. It follows like a random group of people that live in this building, I think, and they all sound very different and maybe quirky. So I feel like that could be a really good book for right now because I've been kind of into those books. Like, makes me think of something like Miss Bunkle's book, which I read recently, and I am interested in meeting these characters and hopefully liking this book. I also got Battle of the Bookstores, and I think this is a new book that came out this year, which I don't remember who I heard talking about this. I had just put it on my want to read list, so I saw that they had just got this in. From what I know, it follows 2 bookstore owners. I think the girl has like a regular fiction bookstore, and then the guy actually has a romance bookstore, and they're like, they don't like each other. It kind of reminds me of You've Got Mail because, well, one, the bookstores, and also it says they've struck up an anonymous friend in an online book forum. Little do they know they're actually chatting with each other. So I feel like this is very You've Got Mail. I watched You've Got Mail. I don't think I said this, but I watched You've Got Mail again the other day, which I've seen it so many times, but it's just so cozy. I was thinking, I feel like I just need to put this on in the background constantly right now. So that really makes me want to try this because if I'm in that kind of mood already, hopefully I'll like this. Okay, the main book I went in there for is The Booklover's Library. This takes place, I think, during World War II. I'll just read what it says about it because I know I've wanted to read this for a while and I've heard really great things about it, but I don't remember what it was about. It says, a heartwarming story about a mother and daughter in wartime England and the power of books that bring them together. In Nottingham, England, widow Emma Taylor finds herself in desperate need of a job to provide for herself and her beloved daughter, Olivia. But with the legal restrictions prohibiting widows with children from most employment opportunities, she's left with only one option: persuading the manageress at Boots Booklover's Library to take a chance on her. When the threat of war becomes a reality, Olivia must be evacuated to the countryside. In her daughter's absence, Emma seeks solace in unlikely friendships she forms with her neighbors and coworkers, as well as the recommendations she provides to the library's quirky regulars. As the blitz intensifies in Nottingham, Emma fights to reunite with her daughter. She must learn to depend on her community and the power of literature more than ever to find hope in the darkest of times. I think that sounds fantastic. Again, I've not read historical fiction in a little while, so I'm really wanting to read this soon. And this author also wrote The Last Bookshop in London, and I've heard really great things about that too. I actually have that book and I need to read it one day. The last book I have is Marilla of Green Gables. I feel like I don't really have to explain this book probably, but if you don't know, then Marilla is in Anne of Green Gables, and she is the woman that takes Anne in. And this is like a imagining, I guess, of her story when she was younger, because she mentions in Anne of Green Gables that her and Gilbert Blythe's dad were friends. So I think this is maybe like their love story or something. I feel like it's gonna be sad, so we'll see. But it also looks so springy and summery, so it makes me want to read it too. And I just love Anne, so I'm really wanting to love this. I did also get the little mini book thing that I was talking about, and I don't know which book it is, so I'm not going to open it right now because I don't want to do it yet, but I am going to do it today. So very soon you will see which book I end up getting and putting together. I really don't know which one of these books that I'm going to start with. I'm not going to try them all right now. I think I just want to pick one and see if I like it, and if I don't, then try a different one. I think I might start with Battle of the Bookstores because it seems light and fun, and like I said, it reminds me of You've Got Mail. So I'm gonna try it and we'll see if I end up reading it. It's just a little while later and I did decide what book I'm reading. You saw I started Battle of the Bookstores. I read a couple of chapters and realized that I don't really want to read this. I think I talked before about how I'm kind of having a hard time getting into romance, and this just did not seem like the book that I wanted to read right now. So I put this down, and then I picked up the Booklover's library, and from the first page I already knew immediately that this was going to be the one that I was going to read. I'm not even gonna try the other ones yet. Not saying that I'm not going to read them, but this is the one I definitely want to read right now. It just already seemed like it was speaking to my heart. I don't know. It seems like it's going to be cozy, and I just can't even explain it. I can already tell though, like it's giving me that 5-star feeling. So I was very happy whenever I started reading this. I'm only on page 43, but I just feel like I'm gonna read this so fast too because I'm already excited to start reading some more of it. So far we're following Emma, and when she was younger, her dad owned a bookstore, but from I guess it was the prologue, the bookstore's burning down, so that's just kind of showing what's happened in her past. And then now we're following her 8 years later, and she has a daughter, and she's a widow, but she's kind of having a hard time. This is like right at the beginning of when the war is about to start. So I think it said 1939, but she's having a hard time because she doesn't really have enough money to support her and her daughter. No one will hire her because I guess this is probably a real thing, but there was some kind of law or something going on where if you are married, you're not allowed to have a job. And also, even if you're not married, if you have a child, you're not allowed to have a job, or people are not allowed to hire you. I think it was called some kind of marriage act. I can't remember. But she's not married anymore, but she does have a child. So she's been looking for a job for a couple of years and can't get anyone to hire her, which just shocks me, like that was a thing back then, which maybe, I don't know, maybe it shouldn't shock me. Then she happens into the Booklover's library, which is, from what I can determine, I think it's a bookstore. I guess it's a library because it's called a library. I think it's a library. For some reason, it kind of sounded like a bookstore. She hears of someone that works there is leaving, and she asks if there's a job opening. So the woman over the store or the library decides to give her a chance. And that's kind of where I am. Ugh, I'm just so excited to read this because I feel like it's going to be perfect for me right now. And it makes me even more want to read The Last Bookshop in London, even though I haven't even finished this one yet. But yeah, so I feel like my goal is to finish this in this vlog, which I'm sure I can because I just want to read it right now and not stop. But now it's time to open this little mini book because I am really curious what it's gonna be. I'm gonna find out with all of you and you'll see, I guess, my reaction if I'm disappointed. I'm a little nervous now to open it. I just really want it to be a book that I can set up on my bookshelf as like a little decoration, but I'm not gonna wanna set it up if I don't like the book. There's a lot of little packages in here. I think this is the book. Oh, interesting. I was not expecting this at all. It's one of the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants books. And it's not even the first one. Yeah, it says the 4th summer of the Sisterhood. But it's so cute. You can see the little pages. So I guess the book's already put together. I don't know what I'm putting together or if I put anything together. Maybe these are already made, but I have 3 more packages to open, so we'll see. I think this is a little lamp, maybe? Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put the lamp together and then show you all what it looks like. Okay, here's the little lamp. It was pretty easy to put together. Cute, it has a little light bulb in it. Here's the next package. Ooh, I think there's another book in there, which is exciting. It is another book. Oh, I'm so excited. It's Emma. I hope you all can see that. It's so cute. I'm so excited about this one. I feel like I couldn't have got a better one because Emma is, I think, the first Jane Austen book that I read and I fell in love with it. I'm so excited about this. But it is smaller, which I guess that doesn't matter. It's smaller than this one. If you can tell, it's a little bit smaller. But okay, now I'm really interested and really curious to see what's going to be in this last one. It is another book. Oh, and it has a little bookmark. That is so cute. Okay, the book is Frankenstein, which I'm not a fan of Frankenstein, but my brother actually might really like this because I think he likes Frankenstein. I could give this to him. And that's the same size as Emma. But this is adorable. It is a little Sherlock Holmes bookmark. So tiny. I don't know if you can see it. Both sides look the same, but that is adorable. I can put it in this little Emma book. So now I have a little bookmark in the book. Okay, I'm very pleasantly surprised with what I got. It really makes me want to go get another one. This is the collector's guide. So I think it says 40 plus to collect. But I'm so happy about this. And now I need to find somewhere to set them up on my bookshelf, even though they're so tiny that are you even gonna be able to see them? But they're so cute. I guess I need to start a little mini bookshelf on my bookshelf because now I have 3 mini books and a little lamp. So I feel like I just need a tiny little bookshelf now. Well, now that I've opened those, which I was not expecting to get 3 books, I'm gonna go read some more of my actual book, and it just sounds like the coziest time. I'm pretending it's fall today because it's so gloomy outside. So I lit a pumpkin candle and I have a fall ambiance on, and I'm just pretending that it's fall right now because I feel like that's what my heart needs right now. I put them with Mr. Rogers for now until I can find a better spot for them. But they're so cute. It's the next day now, and I read some more of the Booklover's library last night. I think when I talked to you all, I had read like 40 pages, and I was just gonna read a little bit more because I didn't have a lot of time left. And I planned on watching a movie last night before bed, but I didn't because I could not put this book down. I'm on page 125, And that was all that I read yesterday. Even when I was going to bed, like I still didn't want to stop. I don't know, like I feel like this is gonna be a book that I hug at the end. Maybe one of my favorite books of the year. That's a lot to say for not even being halfway through it yet, but I feel like I've read enough to know this already. Something I'm really loving about it. Okay, let me back up because I haven't told you all a lot about it yet. You know that it's World War II. Emma got a job at the lending library. So she started that job, but the war is now starting. So she's having to send her daughter Olivia, who's 7 years old, off to the countryside, which I've already cried in this book. And I don't know if I've cried in a book this year. I feel like I cried a lot last year. And surprisingly, I mean, I'm pregnant right now. You would think I would have cried in almost every book. I cried last night reading this because the whole scene of her sending her daughter off to the countryside and just her having such a hard time deciding, do I send her to be safe or do I keep her here with me so she's not with strangers? Like that would be such a hard decision. I was putting myself in her shoes and that would be the hardest thing to decide to do. She ends up deciding to send her, and the whole scene of like all the mothers sending their kids and saying goodbye to them broke my heart. And I feel like I've read about that before. Maybe it's just time of my life that I'm in right now and I'm just more sensitive to that, but it absolutely broke my heart. So needless to say, she is in a very sad spot right now because her daughter's gone. She's so alone. You know, she's used to coming home and her daughter being there and there being a mess and everything. And she's just wanting that back because she comes home and her daughter's not there and she's sleeping by herself. And it's just so sad. But also, even with it being sad, it's just the coziest book. Something I'm really loving about Emma right now, she hasn't even read a book since her father died because that was so tragic, and she hasn't been able to, especially because he ran a bookstore and their connection was a love of books. So she had a hard time after that reading a book again. She has picked up another book, one of her favorites from when she was a kid, which is Emma by Jane Austen, and now she's reading lots of books, really kind of, I guess, getting out of her head and helping her sadness with books. And that really resonated too, because I feel like I'm doing that right now as I'm here alone. I'm not used to that, and I'm missing my husband who's been gone for 3 weeks. I'm trying to do the same thing. So it's one of those moments where you pick up a book and it meets you at just the right time. And I don't think there could have been a more perfect time for me to read this. And that's always my favorite thing because those are just the best reading experiences. But I'm just going to keep gushing about this book if I don't stop talking. So that's where I am in it right now. I haven't finished it. It sounds like I have. I am really excited to read some more of this today. But my plan for today is I'm thinking about possibly going to Bath & Body Works and getting a fall candle because like you all saw yesterday, I was trying to pretend it was fall in my house. And I had a candle lit that's a pumpkin candle, but it's almost completely gone. It's basically not there. That made me really sad, and I just want some kind of fall candle that I can burn right now as I'm reading my book. So I think I might go there and get one of those. We'll see. And I might also go back to Target today because yesterday I saw they had a new sweatshirt out that has a teddy bear on it that's in a pumpkin, and it was just really cute and it feels really soft and cozy. And right now my favorite thing since, well, even before I was pregnant, but especially since I've been pregnant, my favorite thing to wear is sweatshirts because they're the most comfortable thing and nothing else fits me. I just need the weather to cooperate with me now because I can only wear them inside because it's so hot outside. I'm thinking about going to get that. I feel like if I want to get it, I need to get it now because I think it's going to be gone soon. And then I might go to the park and read. I'm gonna try to. Last summer, I went to the park all the time to read. This summer, I've had a hard time with it. Every time I go, either there's people in the spots that I like to sit in, or I'll find a spot and then I'll just be anxious the whole time because I'm by myself. I don't know why I'm like that now. I was completely fine last year, but now it just makes me nervous that somebody's gonna come and it's gonna be a bad situation since I'm by myself. I would really like to try to go and read. You're about to see what ends up happening. I'm gonna go so that way I can go do those couple things and then have time to read my book that I'm loving so much. actually a couple of days later. I think what I had said last is I was going to get a candle and going to Target, and I did get a candle. I don't know if I love it because I wanted a pumpkin scent, and this one was white pumpkin, but it smells different lit than it did in the store, and I'm a little bit disappointed with it. And then I bought the sweatshirt, but I think I'm gonna return it because I'm not super happy with it. They didn't really have the size that I wanted. I just don't want to spend money on something if I'm not super happy with it. So I am probably going to return that. I have read more of the Booklover's library. I'm on page 280 now, and I don't have a lot to update on it yet, except to say I'm still so in love with it. It's such a cozy time, and I'm really, really loving the characters. The main character, Emma, I was thinking as I was reading last night that she's just such a good character and just such a good person. She really cares about everybody and puts others first, especially her daughter, and just I love to see the love for her daughter that she has. I might finish it today because I do have another doctor's appointment, and it's a longer one, so I'm gonna sit there and read for a while. It's the weekend now, and my mom is here again for this weekend. So I think what we're going to do, we might go to a couple of different stores to look at the fall decorations because I know stores are putting them out, and I just kind of want to look and see what's out there. I don't really need to buy anything, but it is fun to look, so I think that we'll do that. But I am gonna finish this book. I really do think I'm gonna finish it either today or tomorrow, and I'll update you all on it. But that's the plan for the next little bit. I finished the Booklover's library, and it was absolutely 5 stars. I would give it 6 stars if I could, because it is just one of those books that I feel like has so much heart in it, and it's definitely a new favorite. It was exactly what I needed. So cozy, but I feel like I've said a lot about it already. I really loved Emma's love for her daughter and just that being shown throughout the book, and I feel like maybe I connected with that more right now too because I am about to have a baby. Like I said, this book met me exactly in the right place right now. I love how books were so important in this book and how they were talked about being used to help in times of like stress or distress and trouble, especially at this time because there's a war going on and lots of sad things are happening. Even though it talks about, you know, heavy things because again, there's a war, it didn't feel heavy. It just felt like I just wanted to give this book a hug when I finished it. There is a quote that I really liked. This is towards the end of the book. Emma's kind of just thinking about all the people that were there to help her and how she was getting through this war. And then it says, that would be how they would get through this war. That, and of course, the occasional distraction of a good book. I really loved that. Again, I feel like that is what I have been doing this last month, is trying to distract myself with books. But I also really loved in the author's note, she was talking about how she wanted to write this book because she learned about, well, one, there was like, I think it was called the Marriage Act or something like that, where women couldn't work or at most places, they couldn't work if they were married, which again, that is just amazes me. But then she also learned how it affected widows too, who had children. That's just so hard because I just try to imagine, even with just being able to have enough money and pay for things, but you can't get a job, but you have no one to support you. It makes no sense to me. She learned about that, and that really inspired her to write this book. And I just really loved that. I'm sure there are other things I could say about this, but I can't remember. Just know that you need to read this book, especially if you love historical fiction, if you love cozy, heartwarming stories, or stories about books even, then you definitely need to try this one. I'm happy that the library had this book, but I'm kind of sad I didn't buy it and own it, which maybe eventually I will because I just loved it that much. But I'm also excited because I do own Madeline Martin's other book, The Last Bookshop in London, and I'm so excited to read this now because I don't know if I'll love it as much as the Booklover's library because I feel like it just has a special place in my heart now. But for how much love I have for that book, I feel like I'm at least going to love this one a little bit. I am excited to get to this sometime, maybe this year, maybe in the winter or the fall. But I am going to end this vlog now because today my husband is getting home and I'm so excited and so ready for him to be home because it has been a very long month. I do feel like I did at least somewhat accomplish kind of distracting myself and still enjoying my time while he was gone with the books that I've read. I know I didn't end up doing a lot of activities, but getting out of the house in general is an activity to me because I like to stay home. So that did help, and being around people. So that helped me to feel a little bit less alone. And maybe if you're in a similar situation right now and you're feeling kind of lonely and feeling alone, I hope that this video helps with that. Even just a little bit, just getting to watch this and feel like you're not alone. I know that YouTube videos usually help me. Also, when I'm feeling alone, I like to put them on, and it helps me feel like, I guess, I'm hanging out with that person. Hopefully this video will also do that for you. But if you made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for being here and for spending time with me, helping me to get through this time by myself. I'm so happy that you're here, and I will see you next time.